So good morning friends. So this is our first lecture on subject heat transfer. In this lecture we are dealing about the basic introduction of this subject and how heat transfer occurs in the systems. So here first, what is meant by heat? Now heat, it is nothing but the energy in transit is known as heat. जो भी energy flow होती है it is we can consider it is as a heat. Now here remember that energy means thermodynamic energy, it is not kinetic energy and so on. So anything thermodynamic energy or any energy within temperature, if it is transferring, then it is known as the heat. Now to transfer the heat we must need the temperature difference, so we can say that, and transmission of that heat from one region to another is due to the temperature gradient is known as the heat transfer. So what is the heat transfer? It is a transfer of heat from one point to another point due to the temperature gradient. Now what is by temperature gradient? So temperature gradient by definition, it is a physical quantity that describes in which direction and at what rate the temperature changes the most rapidly around the particular location. Okay, so this is something complicated, but it's simple one. What is by temperature gradient? It is a temperature difference. Okay, it is nothing but the temperature difference along with the direction on which side we are having rapid temperature changes with rapidly. Okay, so it is known as temperature gradient. So simply, if we are having temperature difference, then and then only we are getting the heat transfer. Okay, so for example, imagine we are having two balls. One ball is at 100 degrees centigrade and another ball is at 50 degrees centigrade. So because of that temperature difference, we are getting the transfer of heat from that 100 degree centigrade ball to the 50 degree centigrade ball. Now if we are having the same two balls at the same temperature, let us say it is at 50 degree centigrade. So in that case, still we are having the heat transfer from one ball to another ball, but effective heat transfer is always zero if temperature are the same. So for that we can say somewhat slow. So let us consider we are having two balls. So this is our ball number 1 and this is ball number 2. Okay. Now, let us say here we are having temperature, here also 50 degree centigrade. Okay. And here we are having temperature, here also 50 degree centigrade. Okay, so both the balls, ball number 1 and ball number 2, both are at the same temperature. Now due to this condition we are having temperature transfer, or sorry, heat transfer from both ways. Okay, either से भी heat transfer होगा and at the same time we are getting transfer from this side. So normally from 1 to 2 we can say it is a heat transfer known as Q1, and here we are having heat transfer known as Q2. Okay, so ये होगा Q1 A, Q2. Now if temperature are the same for the both the bodies, in that case Q1 is equals to Q2. So here we are getting Q1 equals to Q2. So nothing but effective heat transfer कितना होगा equals to 0. Okay, now effective heat transfer is always equals to Q1 minus Q2. Okay, so practical heat transfer in between these two bodies are 0. So here we are taking that heat transfer achieved in between these two bodies 0. If we are having temperature here 100, here 50, then there is positive heat transfer, positive heat temperature difference. So we are getting the effective heat transfer in something watt. Okay, now so I hope you can understand the what is heat transfer, and why it occurs. Okay, now let us see how it occurs. Now here we are having one example. Now before that we can see how heat transfer occurs. Okay, now heat transfer occurs by means of three modes. Okay, so first one is the conduction, next one convection, and third one radiation. Now remember that conduction is always in solids, convection is always in fluids, and radiation there is no need of solid or fluid, so no medium. So we can say that solid means what? Here it is a medium, and fluid means what? Here also it is the medium. Okay, by using these facts we can define conduction, convection, radiation. Okay, now another difference in these three are, in conduction we are not having any considerable movements of particles or molecules. Okay, so the molecules are not flowing, considerable movement नहीं होता. Okay, actual movement नहीं होगा. So in convection we are having considerable movement of molecule. यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Movement, molecule की movement होगी. And in radiation means what? It is a heat transfer by using the electromagnetic waves. Okay, sunlight, that light carries the heat, and we are getting heat from the sun, which is known as the solar heat. Now that type of heat transfer is known as the radiation. Now in radiation we are not having, or we not needed any kind of medium. Okay, हमें मीडियम की जरूरत है क्या? नहीं है. मीडियम होगा तो भी चलेगा, नहीं होगा तो भी चलेगा. So from sun we are getting energy, that energy comes in the form of quantums, and that type of heat transfer is known as the radiation heat transfer. So one by one, by using these facts we can define first one, conduction. Conduction means what? Conduction is a process of heat transfer normally occurs in solids or solids in physical contact without any considerable movement of molecules or particles. Okay, in convection it is a mode of heat transfer normally occurs in fluids with considerable movement of molecules. Okay, for example, boiling of water. How boiling of water occurs? Normally we are having one pot, sorry for that. So we are having one pot, this is our pot. For that pot here we are taking some sort of liquid. So यहाँ पे क्या देंगे हम? थोड़ा इसमें liquid डालेंगे. So up to that mark we are having liquid in that. Now when we are providing the heat from the bottom, provide, sorry, when we provide the heat from the bottom, so at this the molecules at the bottom side are get heated. Now as they are get heated, it loses its density. Okay, for example, if we are taking wax having density somewhat high density, let's say 100 density. Okay, if we are providing heat to that wax, then what happens? It converts into the liquid, so its denseness is lowered, so its density is lowered. So pehla 100 tha, then it is somewhat lowered. So as density lowers, its weight becomes less. So similarly here, when the molecules at the bottom of this pot get heated, then it loses its density and becomes lighter. Now that lighter molecules moves upward, okay, from the sides, so they are moving upwards, and high dense molecules at the top of the pot, due to its weight, moves downwards. So because of that circular movement of these molecules, we are getting the heat transfer in liquids or fluids. Okay, also we can say it is in the AC systems. Okay, if we are providing the AC for a one room, then air near to AC is get cooled easily. Okay, or initially, after some time, whole room is get cooled due to the flowing of the air molecules inside the room. So it is known as the convection. Okay, now for that AC, if we are using blower, then we can say it is the forced convection, and if that flow is naturally, then it is known as the natural convection. So in boiler or in boiling of water in a pot, it is the natural convection. Okay, now third one, radiation. Radiation means what? Radiation, it is a mode of heat transfer in which heat is transferred by using electromagnetic waves with or without the medium. Okay, so by using these facts, we can easily find out the, or we can easily define the modes of heat transfer. Now this question is maybe asked for 6 to 8 marks or 6 marks practically as per the your new syllabus. Okay, 6 marks, for 6 marks they are asking explain the mode of heat transfer. Okay, now there is one another example which can define the how heat transfer, or how these three heat transfers modes of heat transfer actually occurs. Okay, so it is a simple example in which here we are having one building which is undergoes the fire. There is a building which undergoes the fire, so this is the our undergoes fire. Okay, now here we are having one well in which water is present. Here we are having 5 to 6 humans, also 5 to 6 buckets, and one pump is present. Okay, now there is a 3 ways to utilize that water to minimizing that fire. Okay, so for that first case, we can say that the humans taking the buckets, humans taking the buckets, and humans making one line, and they are passing that water filled buckets up to the building. Okay, if this process is known as the conduction. Then how? Let us see. Consider that buckets are nothing but the electrons. Okay, electrons, and that humans are nothing but the molecules or particles of that solid. Okay, or crystals of that solid. So that humans just carrying the buckets, and buckets carrying the water. Now that water inside the bucket is considered as the heat. Okay, so that water is heat, buckets are the electrons, and humans are the particles or the crystals. Okay, so in this case crystals or particles are not moving. Molecules, crystals or particles are not moving, that is humans are not moving. Only water filled buckets are moving, that is heat carrying electrons are only flowing. So this process is known as the conduction process. Now second way in which we are providing the each bucket for the each molecule, each human, हर एक ह्यूमन के लिए क्या क्या कर रहे हैं हम, एक बकेट दे रहे. So they are taking that water, moves towards the building and throw the water. So for each molecules carrying the bucket with water and flowing through it on the fire. So in this case the molecules, that is humans molecules, are taking heat and move towards the other part. So actual movement of molecules occurs in this process. So this is nothing but the convection process. Now third option is that we are just starting that pump and throw the water of that well to the on the building. So in this case we are getting the direct transfer of water to the building. Now that water is heat, so we are getting direct transfer of heat to the building. Now these humans or buckets are the mediums. Actually human means what, we are considering human it is as the molecules or crystals. So this is known as the medium. So there is no need of medium in radiation process. So throwing the water by using pump, it is an example of the, or example similar to the radiation. Okay, so I hope you understand all these concepts. So further we are having the conduction mechanism. So literally now we are starting our first chapter. Now how conduction occurs. Now conduction, we are knowing that conduction occurs in the metal. Okay, so that conduction may occurs by the electron transfer or by using the crystal vibration. So let us see first one, electron transfer. Now electron transfer normally occurs in metals. Okay, because metals having structure of molecules, atoms, electrons and so on. So here we are having this is the atomic bonding of that metal. So we are knowing that in atomic bonding we are having some valence electrons, okay, which are always flowing inside that metal, okay, to that bond. Now when we are providing heat at this bottom, if we are providing heat for the metal, okay, if we are providing heat to that metal at this point, then these electrons carries the heat. Okay, these electrons are carrying the heat and through that valence, and they are getting the energy. Now, after getting energy it get excited, okay, and to lose that energy it moves towards the other point, okay, which are cooler. That's why that heated electrons are moving towards the other point, okay, or you can say that heat carrying electrons are moving towards next side. Okay, now that movement, due to that movement the transfer of heat occurs inside the metals. Normally in metals जो भी solid जिसके पास atomic structure है, that in that solids we are getting the electron transfer system for the conduction. So electron near the heat, getting heat, get excited and move towards other part. So here for these molecules or for these atoms we are not having any kind of considerable movement. Okay, so it comes in the terms under the conduction. Similarly in non-metals normally which having, or solids which are having crystalline structures, so in that case when we are providing heat at one side of that solid, then molecules or crystals near heat are get heated. After getting heat, it gets excited and starts the vibrating. Okay, so here we are showing some sort of vibration. Now due to that vibration or that movement, the crystals are bombarding on the adjacent crystals. Okay, now that bombardation, we are having the exchange of heat from that one crystal to another crystal. ओके, म्हणजे इथं काय होतं, इथले जे मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत ते काय करणार आहेत, इथली एनर्जी घेणार आहेत. एनर्जी घेतली काय होतात, इथले क्रिस्टल्स एक्साइट होतात. आफ्टर एक्साइटेशन काय होणार आहे, दे आर स्टार्ट्स व्हायब्रेटिंग. ते काय करणार, व्हायब्रेशनला चालू करणार. व्हायब्रेशन होताना काय होतं, हे क्रिस्टल्स शेजारच्या क्रिस्टल्सवर आदळतात. सॉरी, शेजारच्या क्रिस्टल्सवर आदळतात. आदळल्यावर काय होतं, दे आर गिव्हिंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ हीट टू द अनदर क्रिस्टल. ज्या क्रिस्टलवर आदळले त्याला काय करतात, हे हीट देतात. मग तो काय होतो, त्याला हीट मिळाली की आफ्टर गेटिंग सम अमाऊंट ऑफ हीट इट स्टार्ट्स अगेन व्हायब्रेटिंग. म्हणजे परत व्हायब्रेशन झाल्यावर काय होणार आहे, परत ते पुढच्या ह्याच्यावर आदळणार आहे. सो आफ्टर दिस प्रोसेस we are getting the transfer of heat from one point to another point. Okay, now actually electron transfer is much faster than the crystal vibration. Okay, so due to that, metals are the good conductor of heat, and the rubber materials, wood, it is known as the bad conductor of heat. Okay, so this is the conduction mechanism. Now for your further queries, I am also sending you the notes of this first chapter. Okay, तो थोडंसं तुम्ही वाचलं की तुमच्या ते लक्षात येईल काय आहे. ओके, पण इझी आहे. इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रान्सफर वन पॉईंट टू अनदर पॉईंट, इलेक्ट्रॉन फ्लो आहे, क्रिस्टल व्हायब्रेशन, क्रिस्टल्स काय करणार, एनर्जी घेणार, व्हायब्रेटिंग करायला चालू करणार, शेजारच्या ह्याच्यावर आदळणार, शेजारच्या क्रिस्टलला एनर्जी देणार, तो परत व्हायब्रेट करणार, तो त्या शेजारच्यावर आदळणार, परत एनर्जी देणार. सो आफ्टर दॅट vibration or bombarding, we are getting a transfer. This is known as the conduction mechanism. हे सुद्धा कंडक्शन मेकॅनिझम तुम्हाला जवळजवळ 6 मार्काला विचारतात. 6 मार्काला हे कंडक्शन मेकॅनिझम विचारतात. ओके, त्यामुळे ह्याची पण स्टडी करा प्रॉपर. ओके, सो दिस इज इनफ फॉर आवर फर्स्ट लेक्चर. थोडा याचा अभ्यास करा, तुमच्या लगेच समजेल. थँक्यू.